Hello. Coming to you from my car, obviously, just because I just really want to get this video done, and I'm a bit pressed for time, and sometimes done is better than perfect. I've worked on something a bit different for this video. While I was on my Christmas summer holidays, I was not working, but I still felt like I wanted to do something a bit creative. So I started looking into some home DIY ideas, and I decided that I was going to try and make myself a full-length floor mirror for my bedroom. I've been wanting one for a while, and if any of you have shopped around for one, you probably know that they're actually super expensive, and I hadn't really seen one that I loved anyway. So did a bit of research and decided to make myself one. So this is first time effort, and spoiler, I was kind of happy with the result in the end. So I will take you through the process. Alright, so this first step I'm going to say is the most important. What I'm doing is just laying everything out to make sure it fits, and I measured everything up before I bought it. I bought the piece of MDF because I thought that the tiles would fit perfectly across it. As you can see as I measure, they're just a few mils out for whatever reason. I don't think it was my fault, but who knows. Anyway, I would definitely suggest laying it out before you just go for it and start securing everything down. These are my mirror segments, so I'm just making sure that they fit in as well. I ended up choosing them over one large mirror piece because they were way cheaper, and also because I kind of want this to look a little bit more like a art piece than a functional piece. So once I was happy with all of my measurements, I am now just using liquid nails to glue the mirrors down. You just need 2 thin strips on the back, and don't apply the liquid nails too close to the edges so that they kind of seep out once you push down. But yeah, pretty straightforward. So I've now used some painter's tape to cover up the sides of the mirror, and I'm just using a green sample pot that I got from Bunnings. I'm pretty sure at this stage that there are going to be some sections of the MDF that you're going to see, so I'm just going over them with some green paint, because I will be using a green ground on the tiles, so that's my colour theme. Alright, this is the first kind of exciting step. Oh, that's Joey. So this is now applying the tile adhesive to the MDF, and that's what sticks the tiles down. I have left my tiles on their, I don't even know what it's called, on their netting, or so I don't need tile spacers because they're all kind of held in place by that. So I'll give you a close-up of this in a sec so you can see how it's done in a little bit more detail. So yeah, basically you want to just apply a thin layer of your tile adhesive. All of my materials, by the way, I will pop in the description for you. Apply a thin layer of that on the surface area. And then I think this thing is, I don't know what it's called, a scraper or something. Anyway, it's got little ridges in it, so then you scrape across to add some texture. And then place your tiles down, and then you want to kind of push going in the opposite direction to those ridges that you created. So you can see I'm pushing up now, and then give it a bit of a wiggle side to side, and that just sort of gets it all into the grooves and makes sure it's going to be nice and secured. It's also good because it really gives you an opportunity to make sure your tiles are in the right spot. It's not like you have to lay them down in the perfect position, but do move fairly quickly because it does stick fairly quickly. And then leave this for 24 hours to dry once they're all secured. Okay, this is my grout. So I'm actually adding some of the same paint that you saw before that I was painting on the MDF. You can see the texture of the grout. You want it to kind of look like frosting or toothpaste. Don't add too much paint because you don't want to kind of ruin the composition of the grout. And I'm here using my fancy spatula to, it's a silicone spatula, it works really well, I would recommend. I'm just scraping it across, or spreading it across the tiles, kind of going in a diagonal. I'm sort of like spreading it on and then scraping it across in a diagonal. But you'll figure it out, you'll get into a bit of a groove pretty quickly. You just obviously really want to make sure that you are filling all of the gaps nicely, and that it's not kind of just like sitting in a thin layer across the top of the gap, that it's really gotten down in between. And then just clean it, just do it in sections and clean it off as much as you can as you go with a wet sponge. Alright, so that was pretty much the bulk of the process. After I left the grout to dry for 24 hours, I didn't film this, sorry, but I pulled off the masking tape and gave the mirrors a really good clean. And I also did go around with a thin paintbrush and just topped up any areas that needed a little bit of a tidy. But yeah, other than that, that was the whole process. It's really straightforward. Like I said, that was my first time doing it, and it was really, really easy. Just takes a little bit of patience, as with most things that I make, I guess. So yeah, you will figure this out, I'm sure, if you try and make this for yourself, but do get someone to help you move it because it's nice and heavy. But yeah, that was the process, so I'll show you how it looks all finished now. So here it is in its new home. I'm really happy. The grout did dry lighter than I thought that it would. I wanted it a bit darker, so that's just something to keep in mind. But yeah, other than that, I'm really happy and I'm excited to do a few more DIY things, I think.